We attend our churches and synagogues and mosques, praying to the God we cannot see but whose presence we sense. Yet we are deaf to the cries of Mother Earth as if her pain were of no consequence. We are bifurcated right down the middle, a bundle of contradictions bursting at the seams, giving with one hand, taking back with the other, deluded in our sense of importance, forgetting we are but a humble speck in the immensity of the universe, yet parading around as if we owned this damn place. Let's see. 102. This note next is a love poem. Are you willing to be wounded by love for love's sake? Are you willing to visit its secret places, to get lost along its tortuous path, unadorned by road signs which point the way? Are you willing to savor its nectar knowing you might get stung? Are you willing to be enchanted by infatuation, to be drunk with ecstasy, to reel with the dizzying delight of romance, which are the portals through which we must pass on the way to love's inner chamber? Are you willing to live love's uncertain outcome, to walk along the perilous edge, knowing you can never keep balance forever, knowing on one side is sorrow, on the other side is joy? Have you not yet learned that for all your yearning, you can never touch the joy of love until you are willing to go to bed with sorrow? For high and low come joined at the hip, and innocence is the chaff which lies on love's threshing floor. I'm going to do another poem, and then Schawkie is going to accompany me on the next poem on the piano. This guy can play so many instruments, it's really disgusting. I mean, it's just amazing. And I'm really pleased that he's here with me tonight. It means a lot. So this next poem, another love poem in a way, it's called Humble Love. Forget that blissed out, we are all light and love nonsense. Stop telling that story because it's a lie. Come down to earth where you belong. You're a flawed human being like the rest of us, so glory in your fabulous imperfections. If God intended you to love unconditionally, He would have made you a dog. So stop. So stop wagging your tail and licking everybody's face. Free yourself from that I love everybody nonsense and humble yourself into loving the one right in front of you. Loving abstractions is easy because they never talk back. If you're lucky, you will stumble into really loving someone in your life. You'll make mistakes and fumble the ball, being loving one day, impatient and rude the next. And then, like the hero warrior you are, you'll start pushing that boulder up the mountain all over again. And that's the way love is down here on planet Earth. Yeah.
They like that love. Just don't forget that.
So this next poem, it's about this empire we live in. And that's what it's called. The empire is dying, because I think this empire is dying. The empire is dying, but doesn't know it. The wreckage of America's arrogance is indisputable to all but itself. Soon enough, the scavengers will be picking through its remains, and the salvage trucks will haul away what is yet serviceable of the principles it professed, but discarded on its long journey of domination. Meanwhile, the empire blusters and bullies with its insufferable crowing, thrashing mindlessly, gasping for air. A dinosaur insisting on its importance in a world that already knows its sun has set. The disposable people, those it starved and bombed, exploited and rendered invisible, those that carried their suffering bravely but never gave up the fight, and the good-hearted people who rallied to their cause will soon arrive with their picks and shovels, songs and dreams, eager to dig its grave deep into the earth it bloodied over many long and terrible years. That's a picker-upper, isn't it?
Gotta change things up.
And if that one didn't get you, this one will. This is a poem that I called Empty Shoes. It's about this could be about any mother who lost a son in war. And I hate to be a bummer, but I think we have to talk about this stuff. Long after the shooting has stopped, which shatters bones and gashes flesh, and the thundering bombs and screeching rockets no longer fall, having buried hope and dreams in the rubble below. Long after the terrifying screams of the children no longer pierce the night, the howling of the wild dogs cease after they've had their fill and the dead have finally been buried. Long after the arduous process of rebuilding the schools and hospitals, the stores and factories, the roads and bridges, and the homes which house the children. Long after the tedious arguments have been interrogated, the worn-out justifications and the dirty lie of collateral damage have been thrown on the garbage heap. Long after the cowardly politicians who ordered it all are safe in their palatial estates, planning the next atrocity to advance their shameful intentions. Long after all of that, a mother enters a room where once her son slept. All will be as it once was, except he is not there. Once happy memories, now tainted with sadness, haunt the room like ghosts. In the closet, his high school sweater, black with orange letters, hanging limply on a hook. On the paint-chipped dresser, his high school trophies, his dog tags, and that picture, a boyish grin in soldier's attire. Lying by the bedside, an adventure novel never finished, and sandwiched between its pages, the awkward poem he wrote his sweetheart, too embarrassed to ever send. And there, in the corner, a pair of shoes, with no purpose now to fulfill, no feet to cradle and protect, no one to carry to work, then home again at the end of day. Slowly it sinks in, deeper each time she enters the empty room. He's gone, never coming back. A childless mother with no one to worry over, no one to scold for his thoughtfulness, or embarrass with a mother's beaming pride. Long after all the debris have been carted away, what was broken is fixed and grass planted, to cover the blood-stained soil. There are broken hearts that will never mend, and empty shoes awaiting those who will never return. I wrote this poem not too long ago. It's a winter poem, and what prompted it is something I saw on the streets of San Francisco. His clothes were ragged and smelly. He lay there crumpled up like some used paper bag someone had tossed into the garbage. It was the dead of a San Francisco winter, and to keep warm, the man lay on the heating grate atop some dirty cardboard boxes. Maybe he was a factory worker whose job had been outsourced to Mexico or Bangladesh after years of devoted service. Maybe he was a Vietnam vet the nation had discarded, sick with Agent Orange we had used to defoliate Vietnam's lush countryside. Maybe his wife had left him for another man, or his son had refused to forgive him for the beatings he dished out when he returned from Iraq, a tormented soldier with PTSD, so different from the father for whom the child had longed. We only know he carried the weight of the world on his shoulders, and they had buckled. Sitting beside the man was a scruffy little dog sitting bolt upright,